Everything at my sister's baby shower looked perfect. The cake, the flowers, the glowing mom-to-be. I spent over $3,000 to make it happen. Right before we left, my husband leaned in and whispered, "Kelly, you really didn't notice anything?" I blinked. "What are you talking about?" He didn't answer. Not until we got to the car. What he said next made my hands go cold. I spent over $3,000 making sure my sister's baby shower would be something she remembered for the rest of her life. While people were chirping, "It's like something off Pinterest," I stood by the cupcake table wondering why I suddenly felt like running out the door. It had all started fine. Peach balloons with gold ribbons. A white and pink 3-tiered cake topped with tiny fondant booties. "Welcome, Baby Ava" written in swirly script. Servers in pastel aprons carried trays of hors d'oeuvres. Someone poured champagne, obviously not for the mom-to-be. She sipped lemonade from a pink glass that read mom-to-be in glittery letters. I planned every inch of this thing. Booked the venue, hired the caterer, the photographer, the props for the photo zone, the thank you gift sets, the throw blankets for guests. All of it for Sierra, my little sister, 7 months pregnant. A girl. Michael and I arrived 10 minutes early. I needed to make sure everything was in place. Nothing crooked, nothing leaking, no flipped food trays, no music too loud. That nervous energy you get when you're hosting, and even your breathing feels like part of the decor? That was me. Michael grabbed a drink and drifted off to the side. He's not big on small talk. Surgeon brain, always watching, barely speaking. Sierra showed up like she was stepping onto a red carpet. White sheer dress, light makeup, messy bun just casual enough to look intentional. Her bump was tiny, almost flat. But as she joked, "Women in our family carry small." Guests buzzed around her. Someone gasped, "You look like an actress." Another reached for her belly and she pulled back, laughing. "Don't jinx us." Cue soft smiles, camera flashes, a pink glow over everything. I stood to the side, smiling too. It was all perfect. Almost too perfect. About 2 hours in, I noticed one of Sierra's makeup school friends slipping her an envelope. Sierra laughed and clutched it to her chest like it was the winning lottery ticket. By the end of the night, she had a stack of envelopes. Some gave gift cards, others brought bottle warmers or tiny baby booties. I brought gifts too. Everything off her Amazon list, plus a bassinet she said she couldn't afford. I bought the crib, the rocking chair. No one really asked who paid for what. When our parents arrived, Mom, decked out in her lavender blazer and fancy earrings, beamed, "Oh, Kelly, it's beautiful," and went straight to hug Sierra. Dad patted me on the shoulder. "You nailed it again, kid. Well done." Then turned to Sierra. "How are you feeling, sweetheart?" I nodded, smiled, and made my way to the drinks table. Family. There they were. Just as always. At some point, our neighbor Mrs. Harper came over. 60-ish, teacher voice, detective eyes. She looked at me over her glasses. "Sierra's just glowing, don't you think?" I said. "And so fit. Were you that tiny when you were pregnant?" I laughed. "I don't have kids." She mumbled something and wandered off. Someone called out, "Let's take a family photo." We lined up, me on the right, Sierra in the middle, parents on the left. Sierra posed with both hands under her bump, like she was holding something precious. But as soon as the camera dropped, so did her hands. She straightened up and turned away like nothing. I caught it. Barely. Later, we played a baby trivia game. Everyone pulled questions out of a bowl, about Sierra, the baby, her childhood. Lots of laughter. One card asked, "How bad was Sierra's morning sickness?" Someone shouted, "She said it was awful at first." Sierra rolled her eyes. "Ugh, don't remind me. I couldn't even smell coffee without gagging." Which was funny. Just yesterday we had cinnamon lattes together. She ordered a double. No reaction. Not even a wince. Whatever. Could mean nothing. I caught Michael watching Sierra. Quiet, thoughtful. Then he looked at me, walked over, and said, "Kelly, doesn't anything feel weird to you?" "No," I said. "Why?" He rubbed his forehead. "Never mind. We'll talk later." We left near the end. I helped pack the gifts into Dad's trunk. Hugged Mom. Kissed Sierra on the cheek. She smelled like perfume. Not strong, but definitely floral. How was she wearing that on month 7 without gagging? Michael was quiet in the car. I turned on the radio. Turned it off. We drove in silence almost all the way home. Then he said, "Kelly, listen," and stopped. "What? You really didn't notice anything unusual? What are you getting at?" He took a breath and finally said it. "Are you sure Sierra's actually pregnant?" That was it. No soft lead-in. No, maybe it's just me, or don't take this the wrong way. Just the sentence. I froze. What? What are you talking about? He looked at me like he hated what he was about to say. I haven't seen a single sign. No change in how she walks, stands, moves. That belly looks, honestly, like a prop. And she lifted that big gift bag like it weighed nothing. That's not how women move at 7 months. Michael, I laughed. You're being ridiculous. He blushed. Sorry, he said. I'm not sure. Then he gave this awkward laugh and mumbled, forget it. We drove the rest of the way without saying another word. It's nonsense, I told myself. Just stress. Just Michael being overcautious. But I couldn't shake it. I couldn't stop thinking about everything I'd seen. Or hadn't. Michael didn't say a word while I changed clothes. I took off my earrings, pulled the pins from my hair, unzipped my dress. Same routine as after any other party. Except inside, it felt like someone was moving furniture around. I went into the bathroom, washed off my makeup. Beige circles from my foundation smudged into the towel like little ghosts. I looked in the mirror. Just a regular face. A woman tired after a baby shower. A woman who threw a $3,000 party because that's what you do. Because family. Because your sister's pregnant and deserves it. When I came back into the bedroom, Michael was pacing. Back and forth, like he was debating whether to start talking or pretend the whole thing never happened. He paused when he saw me, looked unsure. Then finally said, Kelly, I've been watching her all night. And something's bothering me. I rolled my eyes. Oh God, not this again. Michael, I get it. You have the whole analytical brain thing. But please don't start with that crap again. We already talked about it. No, we didn't, he said. Not really. I think this is serious. Are you sure you want to keep ignoring it? I sat down, crossed my arms. Michael, I'm not nitpicking. I'm not being dramatic. I'm telling you, I'm worried. Didn't you notice how she only held her hands under her belly when the cameras were out? Then immediately dropped them as soon as the photo was taken. I didn't answer. Or how she picked up that gift box. One-handed. No hesitation. No grunt. It didn't look like someone 7 months pregnant. She was moving light. Laughing. No fatigue. Oh, I'm sorry she wasn't collapsed on the floor like in every bad labor movie. I snapped. Maybe she's just having an easier pregnancy. He sighed. Then why is she always running off to appointments? Michael, stop, I said, exhaling. You've never liked her. He started pacing again. Stopped in the doorway. Leaned against the frame, looking tired. I don't have to like her, he said calmly. But I've always seen how she manipulates you. You're exaggerating, I shot back. Am I? He asked. Remember a month after our wedding, when she called you sobbing? Of course I remembered. She was falling apart, I said. She had credit card debt. She needed help. I just helped. You wired her $3,000. And then a week later she posted photos from Palm Springs with the caption, a little well-deserved break. Michael. And when I said she was never going to pay you back, you said, she's the younger one. She's just going through a lot. I didn't say anything. He stepped closer. Sat down at the edge of the bed. Kelly, I get it. You want to be there for her. But can't you see she's using you? Or maybe you don't want to see it. I flared. She's my sister. If she's in trouble, I can't just sit back and do nothing. He said quietly, she's always in trouble. Just enough to keep you on the hook. And you, Kelly, you're her safety net. Her free ride. Okay, I said, bitter now. But faking a pregnancy? That's a whole new level. You're really saying she's lying to everyone. He rubbed his face with both hands. Look, I'm not saying anything definitive. I know pregnancies can vary a lot. Exactly. But something's off, Kelly. I'm a doctor. And I'm seeing too many inconsistencies. Like what else? I challenged. He spoke fast now, words tumbling over each other. I watched how she moved, reaching up for balloons. Twisting, pivoting, stepping sideways without hesitation. No stiffness. No caution. No shortness of breath. No swelling. And then she said she couldn't even smell coffee without gagging? That morning sickness was back? Kelly, we literally watched her drink a latte last week. A double. Smiling. He paused, then added. And the heels. She was in high heels for hours. Walking like nothing. No pain. No limping. No swollen ankles. No fear of tripping and hurting the baby. And that perfume. Strong floral scent. Would you have been able to wear that at 7 months? I said nothing. Because I'd noticed those things too. I just hadn't wanted to connect the dots. He let out a breath. Sat quietly for a moment. Maybe I'm just tired, he said finally, softening a bit. Maybe I'm overthinking. He smiled like he wanted to laugh it off, like he was trying to be kind. I got up, walked into the kitchen, and drank a glass of water. Stared into the cup like it could tell me what to think. I didn't want to think. But I did. I lay in bed that night, replaying everything. And this time I didn't skip the details. I'm 6 years older than Sierra. When she was born, I already knew how to tie my shoes, which meant I was doing homework while she spilled juice all over my notebooks. I got A's. She got new dolls just for being adorable. And that was her biggest achievement growing up, being cute. Sierra was the golden child. Blonde curls, dimples, always in dresses. Me. Straight hair, glasses, neat handwriting. I was the smart one. She was the angel. If she broke something, I got blamed. Because I was older. Because I was supposed to be responsible. If she threw a tantrum in a store, they bought her a toy. I was told, "You're a big girl, wait your turn." If she lost something, I had to go find it. If she cried, I was told, "Don't tease her." Even when I hadn't said a word. When I was a teenager, I worked after school and on weekends. I wanted a laptop, and I knew better than to ask for one. Sierra, in her teen years, skipped school and ran away for the weekend because she loved a boy and our parents didn't get it. Then came college. I got a scholarship and left. She stayed. A few years later, her first job loss. Then debt. Then one boyfriend. Then another. Mom would call me. "She's struggling. You're the successful one. Can't you help?" And I did. Again. And again. The one time I said no, my parents didn't speak to me for a month. Then came Sierra again. "She's your sister, Kelly." When I bought a house, Mom said, "Well, finally. We were starting to worry you were just wasting money." When Sierra got a job arranging flower bouquets, they said, "She's really maturing. We're so proud of her." Then she got pregnant. It was a mess. Another financial disaster, I think. I didn't ask. I told them, "Sorry, I'm not a bank. Michael and I are saving for a piece of land." Sierra screamed, burst into tears, then suddenly declared she was pregnant. Pause. Silence. Mom rushed to hug her. Dad awkwardly rubbed her back. And I just stood there thinking, wait, what? Since when? With who? But no one asked. Mom turned to me and said, "She's going through a lot, Kelly. Please don't pressure her. Be supportive. You're the older sister." And just like that, everything changed. Sierra became sacred, the glowing mother-to-be. Suddenly she needed rest. More sleep. Less stress. No conflict. I was asked to buy her groceries, all organic. Then came the prenatal massage. Then a recommendation for a doctor, because her insurance didn't cover enough. I paid. Because, how could I not? It's family. It's a baby. Her pregnancy was hard. Hospitals. Injections. Ultrasounds. Nausea. Insomnia. And yet she looked stunning. On Instagram, radiant, surrounded by cupcakes. In real life, manicured, flawless skin, stylish dresses. Morning sickness? Sure. Except not when she was eating sushi or chocolate mousse. Every week I got a list. Supplements. Prenatal vitamins. Anti-stretch mark creams. Pregnancy pillow. Birthing ball. And I told myself, well, pregnancy is delicate. Maybe she's finally growing up. Maybe she wants to be better. But now I think she just realized how useful it is to be vulnerable. That night, I lay in bed with my face buried in a pillow, trying to remember. Had she ever actually invited me to a single doctor's appointment? Did she ever give me an exact date? Anything beyond a vague late July? I rolled onto my back. The ceiling looked like a white screen. And in my head, the reel started playing. Sierra in her white dress. That pink champagne flute. The way she walked, too confident. That belly, too small. And she never let me touch it. I closed my eyes. But sleep wouldn't come. She kept saying it was the perfect pregnancy. And now, that phrase makes my stomach turn. Because it was too perfect. Because no one's life looks that much like a Pinterest board and still needs emergency money every week for surprise ultrasounds and vitamins. I didn't sleep. Not really. And by morning, I knew what I had to do. Find out the truth. On my own. No more fairy tales. I drove to my parents' house with one single thought in my head. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sierra really is pregnant, just one of those rare unicorn cases where there's no morning sickness, no swelling, just radiant skin and great moods. Maybe I'm losing it. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe Michael's doubts have been leaking into my brain and warping everything. I hoped, honestly deeply hoped, that I'd walk into that house and feel like an idiot. That I'd hear Sierra complaining about back pain, see a half-empty bottle of prenatal vitamins, spot that ridiculously expensive therapy lamp I sent money for. That this was all just one big misunderstanding. That my sister wasn't a liar. That all those years of helping her hadn't been for nothing. My parents still live in the same house we grew up in. Pink window frames, the porch my dad repaints every spring. I didn't call ahead. If I warned them, I wouldn't see anything real. Mom didn't open the door right away. When she did, she looked like she'd just pulled a casserole out of the oven for someone else's dinner party. Surprised, flustered, too cheerful. "Kelly, what are you doing here?" Her smile was just a little too tight. "Oh, I was nearby and thought I'd drop off some vitamins," I said. "A coworker swears by them. Her daughter-in-law's 7 months along and said these worked wonders." "Is Sierra home?" She stepped out. Went for a walk. Fresh air and all that. We were so worried about her yesterday. Poor thing wasn't feeling well. The party must have been too much. We were all so scared, for her and the baby. I nodded and walked in. Same old house. Only this time my mom's eyes wouldn't stop darting, toward the stairs, my bag, the clock. I headed to the kitchen and set the vitamins down on the table. "How is she feeling now?" I asked, sitting down. "Better, thank God. But honestly, we think she needs to go somewhere peaceful. A wellness retreat, maybe. Just rest, clean air, no stress." Mom looked flustered. Fidgety. "She's gotten so fragile. She's not herself anymore." "Right. Fragile." This the same woman I watched carry 3 boxes by herself at the shower, while Mom hissed at me like a lunatic. "Don't just stand there. What if she strains something?" "How's she sleeping?" I asked. "That fancy maternity pillow I sent her. The one that cost like $230? Is it helping?" Mom froze for a split second. "Oh, that. I don't remember. She mentioned it was okay, but something didn't quite work for her." "You'll have to ask her." "Sure. I'll ask her. Later. Always later." "And the doctor?" I said casually. "She mentioned switching to someone new." Mom blinked. "Right, yes. I don't remember the name. But he's great. She saw him last week. I think." "You think?" I nodded, smiled. "Cool. I'll ask her." "Oh, and did you guys start those hypnobirthing classes? You sent me the link, remember? I transferred the money right after." "Oh, hypnobirthing, right?" Mom blinked again. "We signed up, but I think it got rescheduled. Or maybe it's about to. I'll check with Sierra." "Naturally. It's always rescheduled." "And the air purifier?" I said, still smiling. "She said she couldn't sleep without it. Did you set it up in her room?" "The purifier?" Mom hesitated. "It might be in the storage closet. Or maybe downstairs. I'm not sure, I haven't really been keeping track." I didn't answer. Just looked at her. She suddenly got very busy, checking the tea cabinet, filling the kettle, pretending the kitchen was a 5-star restaurant during brunch rush. "I'm just gonna use the bathroom real quick," I said. And I walked out of the kitchen. Walking up the stairs felt off. Like I was a guest in someone else's house. Which I guess I kind of was. I hadn't been here much lately. Sierra had moved back in 2 years ago, after she got fired from that dream job she wouldn't shut up about. She told everyone she'd stay with our parents, just for a couple months. That was 2 years ago. The medicine cabinet was still in the same place. I opened it. The prenatal vitamins I ordered from Amazon? Nowhere. Just some dusty Advil, ancient cough syrup, a few random bandages. I peeked into her room. The door wasn't fully closed. Clothes everywhere. Jeans. A tank top. One of those cropped ones that wouldn't cover a 7th grader. All freshly tossed. On the dresser. Perfume, heavy and floral. Lipstick. Nail polish. And a wine glass, half full of red. I walked over. Not grape juice. Not fancy mocktail. I knew the smell. And I knew it didn't belong in the room of a pregnant woman. No body pillow. No belly balm. No maternity pajamas. Her purse was sitting on a chair, open like she'd just dropped it and left. I wasn't planning on snooping, honestly, but it was practically begging to be looked into. Inside, wallet, sunglasses case, a bag of chips, a Cosmo magazine, and a bottle. Small, pink, sparkly, rose, nearly full. I don't know how long I stood there, holding that stupid bottle like it might explode in my hand. My heart was in my throat. Then I heard the door downstairs. Voices. Laughter. Sierra was home. I put the bottle down and slipped out, holding my breath. By the time I made it to the foyer, she and Mom were inside mid-conversation. Sierra looked fresh-faced and peppy, wearing a light sweater and tight jeans. Exactly the kind of jeans a 7 months pregnant woman probably shouldn't be wearing. "Oh hey, Kelly." She chirped. That smile of hers was pulled tight at the corners. Her hand went to her barely there bump like a reflex. What are you doing here? Just stopped by. Wanted to check on you. How are you feeling? Great. She glanced at Mom, recalibrated. Better. Yesterday was rough. You know, fatigue, low blood pressure, some dizziness. Yeah, Mom mentioned that, I said. Are you seeing a doctor about it? She paused. Eyes flicked to Mom. I saw him this morning. He gave me some new meds. They're pricey, but he said they're really good for the baby. I'll text you the amount later. I swallowed the bitterness in my mouth and smiled. Of course. What's his name? She blinked. Thought about it way too long. Dr. Shepard. He's at the Hillsborough Clinic. He said everything's perfect. Perfect. Naturally. Well, I should get going, I said, grabbing my bag and smiling sweetly. Take care of yourself. And my future niece. Mom hugged me hard. Sierra waved. I didn't put on music on the way home. Didn't answer texts. Just drove. Watching streetlights go by. Watching the city blur. I held it together. Pulled into the driveway. Walked inside. Took off my shoes. Headed to the bedroom. And only when I was finally alone did I let it hit me. Not anger. Not even betrayal. Just sadness. Heavy, bone-deep sadness. Because I'd hoped. I really hoped I was wrong. That I'd let my exhaustion and Michael's doubts mess with my head. That Sierra was just messy, dramatic, and clueless, but not malicious. Not a liar. Not someone running a scam. I wanted her to actually be pregnant. I wanted to feel stupid for ever doubting her. I wanted to hug her and buy her more stretch mark cream and schedule that overpriced prenatal massage. I wanted it all to mean something. All the support. All the money. All the effort. I wanted there to be something real behind her performance. But deep down I knew. It was all for show. Michael came home from work around 7. I was on the couch, staring at the blank TV screen like it might suddenly start showing answers. He tossed his keys on the table and sat beside me. I didn't say anything right away, not because I didn't know where to start, but because everything inside me was buzzing like a downed power line. He spoke first. You went over there? I nodded. Yeah. And? She said she's seeing a Dr. Shepard. At the Hillsborough Clinic. Ever heard of him? His brow furrowed. Then he reached for his phone. Wait, I said. You're calling him? I know the guy, Michael shrugged. I won't ask anything direct. Just feel it out. I sat still while he made the call. Heard only his side. Hey, Steve, it's Michael. Yeah, long time. How's it going? Oh, on vacation? Where? Hawaii. Man, I'm jealous. Since April? Good for you. You earned it. I'm still stuck in the ore, you know how it is. Listen, weird question. Did a patient named Sierra Rice ever come through your office? She's my wife's sister. No. Doesn't ring a bell? Got it. Probably just the wrong clinic. Don't worry about it. Enjoy the sunshine, man. He hung up and set the phone down. Looked at me. He's been on vacation since April. Never heard of her. Not once. I nodded. Didn't surprise me. Not really. Right, I said quietly. We just sat there for a while. Not talking. You know what I found in her bag today? I asked finally. Michael turned toward me. What? A bottle of wine. He didn't say anything. Neither did I. Sometimes you don't need to spell it out. Sometimes silence is loud enough. Later, after he went to shower, I sat alone in the dark. No lights, no TV. Just me and my own faint reflection in the black screen, pale, fuzzy, tired. I heard Michael's voice in my head again, telling me the doctor had never even heard of Sierra. Heard my mom fumbling through excuses about the sleep pillow, the air purifier, the hypnobirthing class. Everything I'd paid for, but somehow never actually seen. Heard Sierra herself rattling off names of expensive new meds she needed me to cover. No prescriptions, of course. Just a Venmo request and a guilt trip. Then everything went quiet. Like my brain just stopped. Because one thought cut through it all like a knife. Sierra's lying to me. Coldly. Carefully. With that same sweet smile and lace-trimmed dress. She's using me. Lying straight to my face. And my parents? Either they're blind to it, or they're in on it. And honestly, I don't know which is worse. This isn't a misunderstanding. It's not a bad hunch or a misread situation. It's a performance. And I've been in the audience way too long. But I'm done clapping. I didn't call. Didn't text. I just showed up. Saturday morning, right around 10. Everyone was home. Mom opened the door in her robe, hair pinned up, looking like someone who just got caught mid-lie. Dad peeked out from the living room and immediately retreated like it was a fire drill. Sierra was on the couch in leggings and a tight tee. Not a hint of a baby bump. Kelly. Mom forced a smile. Is everything okay? Nope, I said. I'm here to talk. To all of you. I walked into the living room and sat down. Calm. Collected. Waited until they all took their seats. Sierra sat across from me, arms crossed. Mom sat beside her, all supportive smiles. Dad hovered awkwardly on the armrest. I pulled out my phone. I've got a few questions, I said. And I'd like honest answers. Mom immediately jumped in. If this is about the money, sweetheart, of course we were going to. It's not about the money, I cut her off. It's about the lies. Silence. Just the clock ticking on the wall. Or maybe that was my pulse in my neck. I looked at Sierra. Are you pregnant? She straightened up. Of course. Why would you even ask? Because I saw the wine in your room. Because I saw you slip into jeans you wouldn't get past your knees at 7 months. Because you said you're seeing Dr. Shepard, and surprise, he's been on vacation since April and has no idea who you are. Mom stood up like I'd insulted the queen. This is outrageous. You've been spying on her? No, I said. I just started paying attention. They looked at each other. And then, like on cue, Sierra buried her face in her hands and started sobbing. I didn't mean for it to go this far. What exactly did you not mean to happen? I was pregnant, she sniffled. But I lost the baby. Early on. It was 6 months ago. 6 months. I repeated. So for half a year you've kept up this act? Still asking me for money, for prenatal pillows, vitamins, birth classes, massages, air? Mom jumped in, eyes wide and voice trembling like she was auditioning for a soap opera. She was devastated, Kelly. We didn't want to upset her more. We thought, if we supported the illusion, maybe it would help her cope. And what about me? I asked. Any thoughts on how it might feel to lie to me every day? Dad finally opened his mouth. We were waiting for the right time. When Sierra felt ready. We didn't want to add stress. For anyone. Okay, I said. Then tell me the name of the clinic where the miscarriage was recorded. The doctor. The date. Show me something. Anything. Mom froze. We didn't go anywhere. It happened at home. It was early. Too soon to see a doctor. Too soon. I looked at her. Mom, you told me last week Sierra saw a doctor. Sierra herself told me she had an appointment 2 days ago, and that he prescribed expensive medication, which I was supposed to pay for. Again. Sierra sobbed louder, like she was trying to win an award. I didn't want to lose your support. Well, I said, you did. I opened my phone, found the date, held up a photo, Sierra in a bar, holding a glass of wine, laughing with friends. Not a single tear in sight. This is the night you claim you had a miscarriage. You sure about that? No one answered. I stood up. I'm done sending money. To you, Sierra. To you, Mom. To you, Dad. I'm done answering your calls. I'm done with tears, drama, guilt trips. And I'm so done being part of this performance. Mom stood, voice sharp. You're abandoning us? After everything we've done for you. I looked her in the eye. Everything you've done for me taught me to ignore red flags. Thanks for that. But I'm done ignoring them now. And I walked out. I shut everything down. Every auto payment I'd ever set up for them? Gone. The just until Dad's pension kicks in, monthly $500 for groceries? Cancelled. The debit card I'd gotten for Mom when she claimed their neighborhood was cashless? Deactivated. I removed Sierra from my bank's trusted recipient list. Changed every password. Set up 2-factor authentication on everything. Closed the joint savings account we once called for the future. The one she'd asked to temporarily access. Even changed the Amazon delivery address. No more prenatal vitamins. No more overpriced pillows. Not on my dime. And just like that, the circus began. Phone vibrating nonstop. Mom calling. Sierra texting. Dad sending dramatic guilt trip messages like, "We believed in you. And you betrayed us." Then came the tears. The voice notes in the family chat. Kelly abandoned us. She turned her back on her sister in her darkest hour. I didn't respond. Family chat turned into a soap opera. Sierra posted that I'd left our parents with nothing, and cut her off when she needed support the most. Then my aunt chimed in. You have no right to treat them this way. They're your family. So I DM'd her. A full PDF. Bank statements. Screenshots. Photos. 2 years' worth of receipts. And I told her the truth. Sierra was never pregnant. A few minutes later she replied, "I'm sorry, Kelly. I had no idea." I didn't write back. It's been 3 months now. I heard Sierra's back in debt. My parents tried to get a loan for roof repairs, denied. A neighbor told me she saw mom at church, asking for help paying the utility bills. And me, I'm just living. Went to brunch with Michael. Applied for a promotion at work. Bought myself a pool membership. Archived the family group chat. Finally started breathing like my chest isn't someone else's storage unit. It still hurts, though, because walking away wasn't about revenge. It was grief. I loved these people, and I didn't help them to keep score. But I got tired of being the one everyone clung to, and then blamed when they slipped. So yeah, sometimes I still wonder, did I go too far? Should I have forgiven them? Given them one more chance? What do you think? Did I do the right thing cutting them off? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I actually want to know. And if this story hit a nerve, if you've ever felt used in the name of family love, hit follow. More stories coming soon. Promise.